Okay, I can only make so many videos apparently because I just made this last one and I started swearing so much that I just couldn't really put it on there. Now, this is so goddamn simple, and it really shows you just the fallacy in the high political risk, completely arbitrary political risk. It's like a conspiracy. Who comes up with these numbers? God knows, Mr. Damaradon or somebody like that. Now, here, I'll just show you the final number. I have two methods of computing this. That's ridiculous. That gives you more than 100% probability. And look at this. God damn it. Okay. Okay. The IRR is this one. Let's put 90%. Okay. Okay, well, I shouldn't have sworn quite as much. This gives you, here's what it says. Here, if we have 5 years, if we go out 5 years, then we get all the cash flows. Let's start at the beginning. This was the cash flow if we have someplace like US. Now, in a bad place where we have all this political risk, we have the chance that we have expropriation. So that has to be higher. So we need this much more cash flow. This divided by that minus 1. Okay, so we need 53% more cash flow. That's just the mathematics of IRRs. I'm yelling here, sorry. Okay, now we can see, well, okay, if we get 53% extra cash flow, because we have this silly political risk, and then we have a default in 5 years, let's make it in 4 years, so we get all of we have no losses on our cash flow in the first, well, this is really 3 years. I included the year 0, so it's even worse. We get everything then, and then we lose the following. We have an 85% chance of loss, but I didn't say we lose 100%. If we have 100% loss, that's equivalent to a 49% chance of default. Now, the government doesn't take everything away. If they only take 60% away, you get this. But yeah, no, then I did a little bit of fancy analysis because here we'll use the same probability of loss. So that was included in the last video. This is the only thing that isn't. If there's an 82%, this is like a decision tree, you know. If we inserted a line, you know, this would be, we have 81% chance of 18% of getting this, and this didn't really look very good, but what the hell. And then we have, hey, this is how we recover. We get nothing. So after, you know, I think it would be better to do this. I think it would be better to take our higher cash flow that we claim we need. I have to use this one because we got these stupid range names. And I multiply this by this. Okay, now of course that's how much we have in this one. But if it's less than this, so if this is true, then that's how much we get. Otherwise, we just get what we would have gotten anyway. I have to go back. Oh, damn. I guess that's okay. You know, this is the problem with these stupid range names. Okay. Alright. And then if we lose, then we get 60%. I can't insert a line, I don't think, because so this should be, first of all, so we get a, oh shit. Oh, this has got the probability in it. But we have to multiply this also by the chance that it's going to happen. So I think this has got a 82% probability, okay? So that's how much we get. And then we can just add these two together. Okay. And that's our IRR on this line. And then we can back into the probability of this. So this gives us, this method gives, if we have in 4 years, we have a 64% probability. If we have 6 years, then we have 81% probability. If it's 2 years, we have 51% probability. So here's what I want to do. Why don't we take this method and let's put year. So let's put 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then, so this is the year of expropriation. Okay, and if somebody is going to start moaning, oh, these countries have such high regulatory challenges or some crap like that, that's already in the cash flows. Give me a break, okay? Or you know, this premium here is over and above your other cash flows. So if we have other operating expense, this is the amount of profit you need. Don't mix it up with anything else. It's just got expropriation in it. Give me some crap. So then above the year of expropriation, then let's see recovery. So let's say we have 20% recovery, 40% of book value. You probably, the company's going to argue, oh, we need much more than book value, like Conoco did. But we'll just put it, okay, 100%. So this is recovery. Now, we can't do that without, the dotted table doesn't work here. We could do two things. Okay, and I'm gonna make, I suppose I'll make this video a bit longer, because one thing we could do is this difference. We could make we want to start with, maybe we want to start with 0% probability. When we have 0% probability, we have this difference. And then we want to just cycle through and basically do a dynamic goal seek. So why don't we do that? Let's see if we can do that, okay? Let's go to macros and, okay, and now the first thing let's do, So okay, and let's put function find probability. Okay, and what we have to do is put find probability down here equals the probability. Okay, how's that? And the probability, here's what we're going to do, is we're going to go for default equals, let's start with 0% to 100%, step 1%. Okay. Oh, I guess we can't do it with we can do it like that, right? Okay. Now we'll put start equals 0 and equal 100% 1. Oh, finish. Okay. So let's put okay, and then we can put increment equals finish minus start divided by 100. Okay, and then we could put increment. Okay. Now what we're going to do is after we do this, we'll put the IRR computed equals worksheet function dot IRR of the weighted cash flow. Okay, is that all right so far? Now, now what we need is our weighted cash flows. Cash flows equals well, let's first get, we're going to start getting things in. Oh no, I've got a phone call. Just a minute. Okay, if we're going to do this dynamic goal seek, then what we need to do is get the inputs into the function. You know, you can't use range names or anything, so the first thing we should do is get our cash flow. Now, let's, the cash flow, what I'd like to do is just, well, you know what we'll do is we'll just select this cash flow like that. Okay, so that'll be our cash flow, and then why can't I put this here? So then, but the weighted cash flow, why don't we cash flow default equals cash, and we'll put equals cash flow times the probability of default, or probability. Let me just see this. And you know, that's what we should be going around and looking for, so I'm going to put probability. Okay, but of course now we have to do this for I equal 1 to the cash flow dot count. That goes around and around, and then so the cash flow, and then this has to have a I in it. Okay, and what we need to do is also then let's read in. We need to read in two more things. We need to year of default, and then we have to put the recovery. Okay, so let's put if the I is less than, or did we put less than or less than or equal? Let's put less than year of default. Then, okay, so then what we got, then weighted cash flow, cash CF and I. Now what we're going to have to do is put some kind of dimension on I. Dimension on cash flow. Let's put it 100. That's about as much years as we'd ever do. Okay. So then weighted cash flow equals cash flow. Okay, and then we put else. Then oops. Weighted cash flow. I'm kind of doing it in a different way here. See if and period I equals cash flow. So we get all our cash flow times 1 minus the probability. Okay. And alright, and let's put end if. Now then if we also have we get our recoveries. How about we'll put that here. Equals, we'll put our cash flow 0 minus, so we got whatever our negative cash flow is. Cash flow, I think, well, I think that's a 0. If we have base 0, it'll kind of read that in a 0. We should probably make some mistakes here. And we take that whole thing and say, well, that's how much our investment is, and then which is our nominal investment. That could be less as it's depreciated or more, but that's just times recovery. So we could do it really fast, fancy, but okay. Why don't I call this percent? Okay. So that's our recoveries. And then we put that recoveries only occurs if I is equal to the year of default. I just realized then, okay, and this should just probably start with 0, unless we put base equals 1 at the top, which we haven't done. So we put that in, and then we put if then weighted cash flow CF I equals weighted cash flow, and I probably spelled it differently each time. Okay, plus recoveries. Okay, and then, oh, what a pain. Okay, and so here's what you have to do if you have a goal seek. If you want to make your goal seek dynamic, you have to put everything inside the okay, you have to put everything in. Now what's going to happen is if then we get our IRR. Okay, alright, and then if the IRR is greater than the IRR computed is greater than, and why don't we put our target IRR, then we go back and we're going to redo our start equals, how about the probability minus the increment that we had last time, finish equals the probability. So we're just going to make an increment, and then we put end if, and then the big thing is we go restart. Okay, and restart is up here. Okay, and then once we have this, we better also get the target IR. Target IR. Okay, so why don't we? Okay, so that's we need those things to bring it in. Okay, and then the final thing is we need to okay, if the finally we also need to do to finish this. So how about if the absolute value of minus target IRR is less than 0.001, this could be an input or something, then exit function. Okay, so that's essentially how it should work. Let's see what kind of mistakes I made before I started. So, and review it. Okay, so we start with our function name, and we read the right things in. We need a weighted average cash flow, weighted CFW, okay? And then we're going to go back here, finish minus start. Okay, and then we if it's less than the year of default, we just take the cash flow. Otherwise, we take the cash flow and say we only get, if the probability is 100%, we get 0 probability, okay? And we gotta, I wonder if we can never get the IRR up to our target. We have to have some kind of check, that otherwise it'll be a never-ending loop. I think what we should do is put counter equals 1, and then whenever we start doing this, so that's before the restart, okay? And we'll put counter equal counter plus 1. And then if the counter is bigger than like 1,000, let's exit the sub. Okay. Function, I should say. Okay. And we call it the you know, I'm just gonna call this, I think I can do this. Can I just call it probability? There's no reason I couldn't call this probability. Okay. Like this. Okay. So we're gonna do it. I think I haven't exactly done it like this before, as you can tell. And so then we get less cash flow, and our IRR will go down. And the higher the probability, our IRR goes down until we say our IRR computed is so it's going to start with a if we put, let's just do it over here. So when we put a 0 probability, we're going to go down. Then we get a high IRR, so we keep going down and down and down, and we get a lower IRR as we go down. Is that right? I think so. So if you keep going down, then eventually that IRR, right, it'll be much higher, so eventually that computed IRR will be less than. So I should have done it like this. Okay, and I think I should have done it. That's going to be the biggest issue. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try it right now and come back. Now, I do not want to admit. Oh, shoot. Okay, Jesus. I'm going to stop again. Okay, I'm back. This was a pain. I don't know what mistakes I made even now. I set the base to 1, so that means I'm starting with cash flow in period 1. And then the big thing is to make a little restart thing and redo it with smaller and smaller increments. And then over here, you basically have to redo the Excel calculations. Now, after you put the Excel calculations in, these are all here, and then we should test here. This tests whether, I think this was giving me absolutely horror when I got a num for the IRR, you know how you get none sometimes, the whole thing just crashed. And then you have to have a test to exit function when increment reached, and you can put extra zeros here. You could probably put it equal to 0, and then this is the big part. You have to redo the increment with after target exceeded. And when you do this, you have to make a smaller increments. So what this does is says, okay, we make this, now we redo our starting point as the last default, the default that exceeded the IRR, and then the end one is just this IR that had the exceed. So this would be less, this would be greater. Then you go up to the restart, up here, and you restart, and you do a new increment now, okay, which is a smaller one, and then you'll go and see when it just exceeded here, and then you keep going around and around. That's the thing, and then you can put a little test to make sure it doesn't work. This doesn't. This was ancient. I had to name this function default probability is a function in Excel I've never used. Okay. Now it's a pain, but the good news is once you have it, it's one of these things in life when, it was a pain to do, but once you did it, it's just, I can't press Shift Control C, because this is now not an input. So if we press 5, we can get a different implied probability. If we put 0, then we have too much. We have more than 100% probability. So we can put different recovery percentages in, different expropriation years, and figure out what, and we don't have to redo that horrible goal seek each time. And since it was such a pain to do, we could have put this goal seek in and this goal seek in, and we could have made a nice little function that doesn't have anything at all in the sheet. Just what's the initial one and the end one and all that. Now, once we have this, you can, you could do a goal seek like this. But, I mean, a data table. You couldn't use a data table tool. You'd have to make all sorts of macros to do this. So instead, if you have a function and you increase this function a little bit, then look, I have spaces, so I can press Shift space. Oh no, Shift Control spacebar. Thanks, Felipe. And I've been thinking about Heidi's comments to make these videos more interesting. I think there are some principles of videos. Make them interesting, introduce them appropriately, and I don't know how to, what else? With the Excel, explaining absolutely all the Excel you're doing. I probably don't do any of those principles correctly, but let's go to data and then what if analysis and then this data table. Now, the recovery rate, remember the row input is a single cell. That's just the one for the, and I should call this loss given expropriation. I'm going to retitle that. Okay, I had to, now once you do that, you get all the different probabilities. So this was loss given expropriation. EXP. Can I spell that right? And let's put year of expropriation. So some of these probabilities are way above 100%. How about we'll put this, and yeah, I hate this, but if you press Control 1, one of my people I fight with in the U.S., all I do is all my assignments are related to litigation. He puts that 3 dot commas in, okay, and then we can put this in and see that we get ridiculously high loss. It's sensitive to this, but if we wait a couple of years, even if it's, expropriate, maybe we should put 1 year here, and 3, 5, 7, and 9. We could, show it when, but this probability of let's put the probability of default of expropriation table. Now, I hope you don't use this horrible merge thing. I know that investment bankers do that a lot. But that will mess. If you have some match and index things and all that, I just hate that. So we can maybe let's do this. I'm going to put this in our new book. Okay, that you help with me with, and then this is our probability function, and if you want to see how it uses, what's going on now? Just a minute. Why did it change? Uh-oh. Just a minute. Okay, well, let me do this. Let's make sure we have the right inputs. We shouldn't be getting some random number. Oh, I see. See, I didn't lock this in, so that was fine. Well, no, I did. We put this cash flow in, this cash flow that you need to do to get the thing. This is okay. Okay. Maybe it's something to do with that data table. Okay. Did you see what I did? I pressed the FX thing. Okay, I have the automatic thing. Okay, there was something funny happening with the data table. Something that I've never seen before, but that's the end of this video. The theme is this overstatement of the probability of expropriation table with with this risk premium up here. This was the big deal. This political risk premium. Okay. When you put some risk premiums like this in, you're just doing something absurd. That's all I can say. Goodbye.